Pebble Beach golf links. Rich Lerner, so pleased to be joining you here today, and by my side in the tower, as always, is Frank Nobilo. And Frank, when I look to my right, over the Monterey Peninsula toward the Pacific Ocean, I always think this is what they mean when they sing "From Sea to Shining Sea." Pebble Beach never does disappoint.
It has to be on everybody's wish list. I don't really care what level of your standard of play is. The best players in the world want to play here, and I have friends really that just took up the game, for example, like a year ago, and that's always where they want to go. Can I get a round at Pebble Beach?
So the golf ball ends up in that first cut. It's a little bit less than 2 inches. You can see the golf ball. Should be able to get at it, but may not be able to control the spin. We'll see.
I always looked inside that 15-feet circle. Anything inside that was going to be a good shot. So in my book, that's a good shot.
Birdie putt now moving to his right. Now, that's a good opportunity, unfulfilled. So he'll finish up for par and shake of the head there. He had a good look at an opening birdie, but he'll settle for a 4. Frank, interestingly, this hole number 2 plays as a par 4 for the U.S. Open. It is a par 5. It's absolutely gettable, and players must take advantage.
Certainly, Rich. Off that back tee, really you've got to grab a driver. I know there's bunkers left and right, but the decision is whether that tee shot finishes in the fairway, because if it does, you're going to have a crack at this par 5 and 2. If it doesn't, then you play the layup.
The missed fairway at one didn't hurt him, but this, a much better tee shot as he is safely in the fairway. Definitely within range of getting home in 2. This, his second. That's it. 2 solid shots right there, Frank.
Certainly taking advantage of this par 5 and comfortably on for 2.
Yes, a great putt there. It's an eagle here at the second to move him to 2 under par. Onto the 397-yard par 4 third, where some players drive it over the trees on the left to cut the dogleg, while others play it more conventionally. It's now his second from just off the fairway. This one's looking good.
Now, there's a good strike in there, just a little left of the hole, but inside 10 feet. It's about 50-50 chance on the PGA Tour of making a birdie.
Oh, right by the hole. The longer putts, you don't mind as much. The short ones, they tend to sting. So he'll tidy that up for his second straight par, but he remains 2 under through 3 holes thanks to that eagle back at number 1. With Stillwater Bay on the right, this is Pebble's picturesque 333-yard par 4 fourth. Tee shot could be anything from long iron to driver, but beware of the 9 bunkers surrounding the fairway and green. And that one looked good for a while, but it's going to get gobbled up by that bunker. The tee shot collected here, now a short one for his second. All right, not exactly what you're hoping for, but safely on the putting surface with birdie still in play. Got it there, but not quite on target. Disappointment there. He'll brush it in, and that'll be just a par. First par 3 of the round, and Frank, I'm reminded of the great history that Jack Nicklaus has here at Pebble Beach, and that goes well beyond what he did as a player.
Well, that's for sure. And we know his playing credentials, but he won the second of his 2 U.S. amateurs here in 1961. Actually said that was the best he ever hit the golf ball. But his legacy really as a designer, you see right here in front of you. I never got to play the old 5th hole, which is further left. But this is an absolute beast. It plays around 190 yards, very narrow green. And that is a cliff on the right, believe me.
Yeah, solid shot right there, and it'll be a good look at birdie here at number 5. This is a 13-footer. That is nicely done right there. A very strong start to his round. 3 under through his first 5 holes. Well, this is where the excitement starts to build early in a round at Pebble Beach. I know it's the 6th, but you're coming into possibly one of the greatest stretches in all of golf. This is a 498-yard par 5, goes up the hill, Pacific Ocean in the distance, chance to make an eagle here, and chance to feel really good about where you're headed. Yeah, nothing to fault there. Good balance, good follow through, and a good start to this hole. Down on the course, let's check in with Nota Begay III.
Wonderful tee shot here. Biggest challenge is you cannot see the pin sitting on the green. You're going to have to pick out a point along the edge of the cliffs to get the ball on line.
That's what he wanted to do. After the tee shot, puts himself in really good position here on the par 5. And this may be where you're forced to rethink things. Maybe putting wasn't the best of ideas. That is well short of where it needed to be. Nope. That's so nearly a birdie, but par is all he'll have to show for it. Frank, there are certain spots in sport that kind of steal your breath. Starters Gate at the Kentucky Derby, home plate at Fenway Park, maybe top up the hill if you ski at Kitzbühel. 7th tee at Pebble Beach absolutely is one of those special places.
Just over 100 yards, Rich. It's the ultimate, I don't know, piece of cake where that's what it looks like, but then you try and taste it and you want a little more, and then you realize you're just bitten off more than you can chew.
Stuck the follow through right there. This could be really good. That one safely on the putting surface. A very makeable 8-footer for birdie. Now, that one's going to go begging. It misses right. Frustration there. I said very makeable. Apparently, it's very missable, too. Yep, good work not to let that get away, and that's in for a par. We head now to the 416-yard 8th hole, one of the premier par 4s in golf. Fairway wood or long iron off the tee, giving way to a long approach over the cliffs and a yawning chasm below. Beautiful tempo to that swing, and this is going to wind up squarely in the fairway. Frank, just the visuals on this second shot to number 8, mind-boggling.
Yeah, this is really where Pebble Beach attracts the best players in the world. Sitting on top of that hill, and you look at this green that angles away from the player on the player's right. Plus, you actually have to look at the putting surface. There's only a small area of flat surface. If you come up, anything sort of 5 or 6 yards short on that putting surface, it will come off. But also, too, you can, if you live at a local knowledge, don't touch too many people, but you can use the back edge of the green, too, to roll the ball back.
Ah, yes, well done. It's birdie to move to 4 under now on the day. We finished the front side with what is often considered the most difficult hole at Pebble Beach, 483-yard par 4 ninth, ocean all down the right, and bunkers and deep rough on the left. No room for error here.
Well, it's in the first cut. We know you can't spin the ball as much from the first cut. Still lying okay.
From just off the fairway, down the Noda.
He's got about 98 yards to the front, 111 to the hole, pin about medium depth, though it is on the left side.
Oh, and a break there. That ball needed a kick and got it, and it'll wind up on the fringe. Okay, good putt there for his par here at the 9th. And that will be a sizzling 31 on the front side, 4 under par. Hope you're enjoying this little stroll along Carmel Bay, and the golf is as good as the view. This 10th hole is 444 yards. I would tell you that it is the widest fairway at Pebble Beach. It is, but it doesn't feel that way because of the way it slopes left to right. And if you're not careful, this one can get away from you and head toward that Pacific. No issues here. That is into the fairway. A nice round number here, an even 100 yards coming up for his second.
It might have been perhaps a little conservative, but right in the heart of the green.
13 feet away. Yeah, he would have liked that to fall, but he needed to gun it just a little more. Disappointment there. We'll brush it in, and that'll be just a par.
Well, this is where Pebble Beach changes significantly. We're going away from the Pacific Ocean now, up the hill toward the forest. Frank, what do you think of the 11th hole?
It's tricky, Rich. Number one, because it's blind, as you've detailed, but uphill and it's sea level, so that tee shot's not going to go that far. There is a run out down that left side, just inside the tree line there. That's about 308 yards, but you're not going to go that far. So really, you have to respect this hole. Just hit a fairway finder.
He just keeps motoring right along. Another good tee shot right there.
Second shot now to this 11th hole, Frank. It's a short one, but it's also uphill. So what's the key here?
Well, because it's uphill and that green tilts back at you so much, you can't afford to hit a shot that spins too much, and you cannot afford to be short. Now, just remember, these greens are small. This one is only 24 yards deep, so anything in the middle of the green, and you can't really have a putt more than 20 feet. So that's the target. Oh, that was a good strike. Took it straight at it, too. That one bounce and check. Well played.
Okay, he is making it look routine at this point. Another birdie, and it moves him to 5 under par. This 12th hole certainly not as famous as some of the other par 3s here at Pebble Beach, like number 7 or 17. But 12's a good one at 202 yards. Ideally, you want to work this right to left, just a baby draw, and try to get it to land softly because the green tends to be really firm. Okay, safely aboard. We welcome in Iona Stephen. This, a putt for birdie.
Now this will get a little bit of a boost as it gets down the slope, but more importantly, it's going to work its way from left to right.
Okay, I'd call that an acceptable effort from that range. Nearly a birdie, but par is all he'll have to show for it.
Frank, the 13th hole doesn't get as much fanfare as some of the more picturesque par 4s here at Pebble Beach. Just curious, what do you think of this 13th hole?
I think it's a good hole, Rich, because it rewards you. You can certainly make 3 here. I remember when Tony Jacklin actually made an eagle here, but it's very easy to mess up. Purely because they added those 3 bunkers in on the right side that start at 260 yards and finish at just over 290 yards. What that has done to this hole is actually shrunk the fairway to is just 35 yards wide.
It all looks so simple when you're going good, doesn't it? And that is yet another solid drive. Front left hole location here as we await his second to the par 4. This one has a chance to be close.
It's been a beautiful round of golf today. It's been a clinic with the irons, and more evidence there. The swing, the strike, and look how close that is.
You bet. Easy as can be. That's in for birdie. Well, in the world of professional golf, there are very few legitimate 3-shot par 5s left. This 582-yard par 5 14th at Pebble Beach is one of those holes. It is all you want. Long drive, but a bad lie.
Wicked.
has to be thrilled with that second shot here to the par 5. Frank got everything out of that.
Yeah, did well just to advance the ball so far down the fairway. And now a fairly straightforward third shot.
Frankie's not going to make the highlight shows tonight, but he might still make par, which isn't all bad.
Hey, let's face it, that is very forgettable.
Disappointment there. He'll brush it in, and that'll be just a par.
Here at the 15th, a good drive, Frank, would be right down the middle. A bad drive would be on 17-mile drive. As scenic as it is, it's not where you want to be, is it? It's out of bounds.
Well, you can't afford to go right. You can't afford to pay for that real estate on the right either. So, yeah, anything down there. And fortunately, it's a downhill tee shot. I know there's sort of four bunkers really down the left side, but really it's the pop bunker that has to be avoided.
And that was flirting with disaster the whole way, and it's going to wind up popping into the bunker. Now this, an awkward distance for a bunker shot. Oh, kind of bladed that one. Got it out, but it is now in the rough.
So close to being good. Didn't need much more to bounce forward. That finds the fringe. And an outside chance for a par.
Not that time. Pretty good effort, but it'll wander a couple of feet by. It had been a clean card to this point, but that's a splash of cold water as he finishes off a double bogey. We now begin one of the most beautiful stretches of finishing holes in all of golf. The march to the sea at Pebble Beach, starting with a 400-yard par 4 16th. Key here, carry the island bunker.
Well, that drive was enormous. I know it's in the rough, but that is long.
Ball appears to be sitting up here in the rough at the 16th hole. Decent lie, but you just won't be able to get it to spin. See what he can do now with this, his second shot. Okay, a little left to do, but safely on the green.
This will be a 14-foot putt here.
That one just going to sneak on by. That's so nearly a birdie, but par is all he'll have to show for it.
Well, here we are, 17th hole, and this is where you can make your mark on the sport. Frank, so much history at this par 3.
It's just a great hole too, Rich. You know, that hourglass-shaped green on the angle. But you're right when you talk about history. You go back to 1972, and this hole played into the breeze. It was a one-iron for Jack Nicklaus. Said one of the greatest shots he ever hit. Actually hit the flagstick, nearly went in. And of course, one of my favorites is 1982. Tom Watson had missed this green to the left, and the late Bruce Edwards was his caddy. And they were looking for options because they were in such a perilous situation with the US Open on the line. And Watson said, well, what about if I just hole it? And if you look really closely at the footage, as Watson starts to run across the green, he's pointing his finger back at Bruce and saying, I told you so. And then just a few years ago, too, Gary Woodland, he had to chip it on this green and made 3.
Disappointment there. He'll brush it in, and that'll be just a par. Well, here we are now at arguably the greatest finishing hole in golf. 536-yard par 5. Pacific Ocean, massive fairway bunker stretching more than 100 yards on the left, and cypress trees. Just a few of the things you need to contend with. Is starting up the right side. Be a little disappointed with that because it lands in the rough and it appears to be fairly thick over there. Good shot that is. Home and 2 on the par 5. Remember, made eagle earlier in the round, Frank. Now maybe a chance for a second.
I know we can't call it a double eagle, but talk about aggression in these par 5s. Way to stand up there and just hit the shot.
Yeah, I think he expected that to be a little quicker down the slope, but not too bad. Yeah, that's well played. It's a birdie at 18. And that will finish off a very solid round, 5 under 67. Well, that'll wrap it up for us today. We saw a lot of great golf, Frank.
The course was good. It was gettable for some, but, you know, in the end, it really gave you what you deserve, just the way we want it.
And that'll do it for our entire team. I'm Rich Lerner. Until next time.